Welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and I'm living in the light by documenting my weight loss journey using Optavia's 5-in-1 program. With the Optavia program, you eat 5 fuelings which come to you prepackaged each month in your monthly Optavia box, and you also get to make a delicious lean and green meal each day to enjoy that consists of 5 to 7 ounces of a lean protein and 3 servings of lower carbohydrate vegetables, as well as some condiments and occasionally some healthy fats. So today I'm going to show you a crock pot recipe for cheeseburger soup. Today, in this edition of Lean and Green with me, we're going to make a cheeseburger soup. But before we do, could I just invite you to like the video, hit the thumbs up button, and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to my channel. I really would appreciate it if you would let me know that you are cheering me on, that you are part of my tribe, and that you are encouraged by the videos that I produce. So now today's video comes to you at a special request by my new friend Presta, who asked for a crock pot recipe. Now I was already planning on making this soup recipe, but I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do the girl a solid and I am going to make this in the crock pot instead of making it on the stove, which is fine with me. Less gas burnt because I have a gas stove top, so I don't have to use up the gas. I can just use my crock pot. Now don't laugh at my crock pot. I got married in 1988 and this was a wedding gift, and it's managed to outlast 3 or 4 other large crock pots. I love this because it has the glass top on it, and this insert comes out and I can use it in the oven. If this lid ever completely breaks, it's so chipped on the edges, but if it ever completely breaks, it will be a very sad day. But it has managed to be around for 34 years. Yeah, we just had our 34th wedding anniversary. So this has lived for a very long time, and I have frozen chicken broth in there kind of thawing out while I work on the rest of the ingredients. So you need 3 cups of a lower sodium chicken broth. I make my own broth and freeze it. All I do is use the carcass of a whole chicken. A lot of times it still has the leg meat because we really like the breast meat the most. The wings, those go in there. I throw it in the Instant Pot and I cook it for like a good 24 hours. So more on that some other time. But for the cheeseburger recipe, you need a pound of ground beef. This is a 2-pound package. I'll only be using half of this. You need 3/4 of a cup or 75 grams of diced celery. You need 1/4 of a cup or 60 grams of diced onion, a 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes, some parsley, here's a little lesson for you, Worcestershire sauce. That is how you pronounce it. If you go to England, Worcester, this is pronounced Worcester, not Worcester. And I don't know why people have such a hard time pronouncing this. I'm from New Hampshire, but Massachusetts has a city called Worcester. So Worcestershire, that's the correct pronunciation. Salt and pepper. And then at the very last, you're gonna do 7 cups of baby spinach, and that is what I have right here. Interesting fact, this container right here, I read the back, 1 serving per container. I think that's really funny. Imagine if you had like a family of 10, you'd have to have 10 of these containers if you were gonna give them each a serving of spinach. And then what I don't have up here is 4 ounces of reduced fat cheddar, which 1 ounce will get sprinkled on each serving. This makes 4 very hearty servings of cheeseburger soup with 1 lean serving, 3 greens, and 3 condiments. So let's look at how to put this together. I have my beef in my nonstick skillet. You can hear it sizzling over there. It's cooking up. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna cut up the celery and onions. I need 75 grams of celery to make 3/4 of a cup. So I'm just gonna slice this up. Leaves and all, the leaves are great. The thickness of the celery doesn't really matter because it's gonna cook really well in the soup. so I don't have to worry about it being super fine. If you want to make it that way, you can. Let's see how we do with 75 grams here. 60, 68, 71, 78. So what did I say, 75 or? I think I said 75. I did. Let me pull just a little bit out. There we go. There's 75. And then I need 60 grams of diced onion. So let me zero this out again. Let me get this to 60 grams. We need a little bit more. It's 41. This might work. That's 58. I'm not going to cut more onion just to get 2 more grams. I think we'll call it a day on that. It's close enough. And I'm going to finish browning my ground beef, and then I'll be back to show you how to throw everything into the crock pot and leave it to cook for the day. The next thing that we have to do is just assemble the ingredients in the crock pot. I'm going to throw in my onions and celery. Next, I'm going to take my ground beef, and I let this cook, of course, until it was no longer pink. And I also let it cook just a little bit longer to evaporate a lot of the water that is in there, and to try to get a little bit of caramelization on the meat. I didn't really do a whole lot, but I don't know. I just like it that way. My can of tomatoes with the juices. And then I need a teaspoon of dry parsley. A quarter of a teaspoon of salt. A quarter of a teaspoon of pepper. Again, I just eyeball it. And then 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Just give it a good shake because a lot of times stuff settles at the bottom. I want 2 teaspoons of this. There's 1. Worcestershire has a great umami flavor to it. I'm gonna give this a stir. My broth is still kind of frozen, so it's gonna be a while before it's super liquidy. But what I'm gonna do is leave this, I have it on high, and I'm gonna let it cook on high for probably 3 to 4 hours today. And then I'm gonna add in that spinach and let it wilt down. Probably I'm gonna cool it off and stick it in the freezer for another meal later on this winter. But when you serve this, makes 4 servings, so you divide it evenly among 4 bowls. And you are going to top each serving with 1 ounce of reduced fat cheddar cheese. And so there you have, I will take some pictures when it is finished to add to this post just so that you can see what it's going to look like. But it will be delicious. And if you have questions about this particular recipe, please check back in with me, leave questions in the comments down below. And until I see you next time, keep living in the light.